What is up, guys? I am back today with another weapons review. It has been a very long time since I've done a weapons review on here. I kind of stopped because I just felt like I wasn't really any good at it. And I used not to be. I go back on a lot of those old weapon review videos and I cringed really bad because those videos were really cringy. I mean, I was like, what, 16 when I first started doing those? So yeah, I've evolved a lot since then. So anyways, today I'm going to be reviewing another Karate Mart weapon. I'm sure a lot of you guys who watch my videos know what Karate Mart is. It's where I buy all my martial arts weapons. It's just a really cool website where they have like swords, martial arts weapons and stuff. But I think this is one of the coolest weapons they've ever sold on their website. It is a Templar Knight medieval longsword. So if y'all don't know what the Knights Templar is, basically it was just like this, I guess like an order of knights that was formed to safeguard pilgrims to Jerusalem or something like that. They were very similar to Crusader Knights, so that's cool. Crusader Knights are probably my favorite medieval warriors ever. And this sword looks just absolutely amazing. So we're gonna start with the scabbard. So the scabbard is wooden. It's covered in a leathery material, which feels really nice. And it does come with like a belt to put on here, but I don't really like it because it doesn't really hold up very well. So I just kind of took that off and I just use it like this because it feels a lot better like this. So let's go ahead and take the sword out and look at that blade. Wow, that blade is magnificent. You can tell this is a very high quality carbon steel, very oily. It's got a lot of wood chips from the scabbard. That's one thing. I am not a big fan of the scabbard because every time I put the sword in, the wood like chips off and it gets on the sword. And one other thing about the scabbard is, let me put the sword in here, is that sometimes the sword actually, yeah, see that? The blade of the sword will actually slice into that part of the wood and get stuck while I'm sheathing it. So the scabbard isn't the greatest part of the sword, but the sword itself, I'm telling y'all, is amazing. So take the sword out again. And one thing to note about the scabbard is also it doesn't really sit too well in the sword. It's just kind of loosely on there. So when you do sheath the sword, if you're going to hang it up on the, like I hang mine up on the wall right there, have to really like clip it in there to make sure it like stays on, because it does just sometimes like fall off the sword when I'm hanging it up there. So that might be a bit of a problem, but I'm sure I can fix that. Anyways, let's take a look at the sword here. So starting out with the grip, or the handle, is a wooden handle, and I believe this is a full tang sword. I believe it is. I hope it's full tang. Trust me, y'all do not want a sword that's one of those rat tail tangs. I really hope this is not a rat tail tang sword, but it does not look like a rat tail tang sword. So anyways, the grip is wooden and it's wrapped in like some kind of, looks like a paracord wrap, and it's covered in a very nice leather material, the same leather material that's on the scabbard. Not sure if that's real leather, but it does feel pretty nice. Feels on there, like it's pretty secure, yeah. And of course down here, you've got the rounded pommel with the, what's that called? It's the name of the sword, the Templar cross, that's what it's called. That's the Templar symbol right there. And you've also got a stainless steel crossguard. Feels pretty nice. I guess one thing I don't like also is that I guess the pommel feels a little bit too close to the handle. Like it does ride up in my hand a lot. But then again, my hands are like really large. So maybe if I just like kind of hold my hand up closer here, it won't bother me as much. But going back to the blade itself, which is easily the best part of this sword. I'm talking, that is a like razor sharp blade. That is sharp, very sharp. Like I said, blade, 1060 carbon steel, very, very nice durable carbon steel. Definitely be careful when cleaning off your long swords because they are sharp on both sides and you could end up cutting through it. So yeah, blade is super sharp, tip also super sharp. Everything about this sword, pretty much amazing, I'd say. Everything I like about it, I'd say, except for this pommel, and the scabbard is also not my favorite thing. But other than that, I really love this sword. So enough yapping, let's do some chopping. All right, y'all, very bright out here today. The bottle I'm going to be testing today is this Tropicana lemonade bottle. So these bottles are very strong. So I do not know if the sword's gonna make it through or not, but I think that if I can get perfect edge alignment, that I can cut this bottle in half. So I'm gonna just try to do that. Wait for that loud car to go by. All right, let's do this. Oh, you're there is no way. That's crazy. That is actually crazy. What? Y'all, look at this. Look at that clean. Guys, this bottle is like so strong. How did it do that? It cut through the top right there too a little bit. That is crazy. That's a 10 out of 10 sword right there. That is like a 10 out of 10 sword. All right, and just for fun, y'all, I'm gonna chop up this box here. This is actually the box it came in. Let me wipe off this blade real quick. It's got some dirt on it. I'm sticking it in the ground. Chop up this box now. Once again, just a clean cut. I mean, just clean. Like, let's look at this up close. Look at this up close. Look at this. Bro, that's actually crazy, man. Dude. That's like a literal razor right there, man. Come on, bro. All right, so as I could see in that little testing, the Karate Mart longsword is a freaking beast, man. I mean, this blade is just like, I mean, that's incredible. That is like razor sharp, really, really cool. I mean, did you see how clean those cuts were, man? I mean, some crazy clean cuts. Unfortunately, I did damage the tip a little bit by sticking it into the ground. I hit a rock, I think. So the tip is a little bit bent, but I mean, I can buff that out. It's no problem. I love the sword. Honestly, the fact that the scabbard's not too good is honestly, I can look over that because this sword itself is just incredible. I'd say this is probably at least my second favorite weapon I've ever gotten from Karate Mart. I think my number one favorite weapon I've ever gotten would have to be this full tang carbon steel katana. I mean, just look at this thing. I think this thing is slightly better than a longsword, but then again, I think I'm a bit more of a katana fan than I am a longsword fan, so I'm a little bit biased towards the katana. So, yeah. So guys, if you're looking for a really high quality, but also a budget-friendly longsword, I would absolutely recommend checking Karate Mart out. This is probably the best medieval weapon they sell on there. And like I said, if you're looking for a longsword, I'd definitely recommend this one. Because most long swords you're going to find, they're going to be like $500 to almost $1,000. This one, it's set at a pretty reasonable price, I'd say. For what you get, I'd say it's a pretty reasonable price. I got this when they were having a sword sale, so got this for a little bit cheaper than what it's usually sold for, but still, I'd say it's worth every penny I paid.